And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone, coming at you live on this beautiful Corona-free day. Today is Saturday, April the 3rd. That's what it is. At 1:06 in the afternoon. How are you doing? So here's the thing. Talking about balance. You know, I said before I'm a creature of extreme routine. I'm very regimented and stuff like that. I do that for a reason. I do that to help me stay balanced. And honestly, lately I haven't been as balanced as I have been. What do you mean? Okay, I'll tell you. You know, my passion is comedy. And second to that, and running parallel with it, is jiu-jitsu. Now I have other responsibilities. You know, I'm a husband. I got a job and whatever, stuff like that. You know, but my point is this. You know, on occasions I might exercise too much, and then I'm not as focused on my comedy writing, or I'm doing so much comedy, which is great, okay? I'm not exercising, I'm not doing enough jiu-jitsu or something like that. The reason why that's really bad, in my opinion, is that because balancing out the thing that you love the most with something else that either complements it or is creative or gets you thinking, like jiu-jitsu, prime example, but anyway, when you come back to that thing that you're doing that you love so much, comedy in this instance, you're better at it. It's kind of almost like you're overtraining something that you love so much. Or it could be something else. Maybe you're overtraining something because you're doing so well at it, which is great, okay? But when you go too far left, you lack on the right. So, you know, honestly, lately I have been lacking in my comedy writing. And this is just a couple days, but it's an important thing to mention, so I'm getting it out. You know, on average, Monday through Friday, I work at least 1 hour of comedy. At least 1 hour of comedy. And that can be writing, sitting down in front of a computer, working on a material, whatever. About an hour of exercise and about an hour of jiu-jitsu. On top of everything else. You know, I gotta cook, I got house cleaning to do, whatever else. But that's Monday through Friday. And on the weekends, it's 2 hours of comedy per day, minimum. And that's actually sitting in front of a computer, trying to come up with new ideas or organizing ideas or going through notes that I might have written myself to look at, to work on for the weekend or throughout the week that isn't figured out or whatever. And lately I haven't been doing that the last couple days. Now, if there's anything that I can say that actually you can relate to in this and use in your life personally, well, great, awesome, go ahead and do it. But using me as the example, it's only been like a couple days that I haven't really been balanced, and I already feel like I'm not synchronized with how I usually think, with how I usually act and feel and operate at my most prime level. Now, I think, in my humble opinion, the best and only way to optimize yourself is by making a schedule. I actually have a master schedule, because the thing is, I don't want any fat in my day, okay? Which is another reason that I have my alarm set for 4 something in the morning, okay? So, unless I'm up naturally, which I am a lot, by 4 in the morning, I'll be rocking and rolling. Guess what? I said it before and I'll say it again, that includes on the weekends. Weekends is even better, because that means that I'm not taken away from comedy or whatever else it is that I'm doing to go work for 8 hours or something like that. But yeah, so I'm kind of calling myself out a little bit, and it's good to do. But I only recognized it just because of my schedule. That's what it all comes down to. It all came down to my schedule. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, it's important enough to me to give me another perfect example. I feel like balancing yourself out with something creative is very important. if you don't have anything that you do, there's a difference between analytical, which is getting you thinking, and something that's creative, which is getting you to create, for lack of better words. An analytical daily task, or whatever the case, even if it was like once a week or something, would be something like chess, or anything that has to do with strategizing your strategy. Now, learning, of course, is when you're adding information. Strategizing is like when you're problem solving. But creating is something that you do through an art. And I truly believe that to be the most best version, including physical version of you, you should do something creative that balances that out. And it could be something that's a little bit of both. It could be a strategic art, such as jiu-jitsu. Again, it could be actually painting. It could be sculpting. It could be working on poetry or creative writing or something like that. But there's something that happens when you're creating yourself. It really opens up another like area of your mindset to help you think. And it's a really, really beautiful thing. But not just that, it's powerful. It's powerful beyond measure. Because if you're about to shoot a free throw, or you're about to hit a golf ball or something like that, you're breaking the routine, and you're actually seeing other angles that normally you might not, because you're incorporating new ideas. You know what I mean? You might think of doing things in a different way than you normally do it. You start to not just think in the way that you were told and how you learn, but start learning and developing your own ways of doing things. I mean, there's more than one way to do many, many different things. But yeah, this is just like a really, really important, I don't want to call it lesson, but it is. I mean, like a huge, huge life lesson, which is balancing yourself out. Calling myself on something else, but for this one I have a little bit of an exception to the rule. Reading. I think it's very important to always continue to educate yourself, even after you get out of whatever former schooling you might be in. And I don't just mean Instagram or something like that. That's still reading. It is. But I mean like an actual like text, you know. And by the way, side note, learning how to cook and new recipes, that's also creative. Even though you get what I'm saying. I'm not. Anyway, getting back to what I was mentioning last, as far as reading goes. I used to read. See, I don't like to read with interruptions. So I wouldn't typically read something Monday through Friday. I would actually have my alarm set for something in the morning, and on a Saturday, and then Sunday I would start my morning early and I would read. I would read something, but it would have to be a topic. It would have to be a book that was something that took me to that next level, that next strategic, higher level thinking mindset kind of a book, you know. And I haven't, and I'm sure there's a lot out there. Okay, and what do they say? Different strokes for different folks. Everybody likes something differently. Well, I really only primarily will read something if it has to do with like strategy or getting better. Not self-help. Not that. Okay, but self-improvement, ways of optimizing yourself, ways of just being better. There's a really, really famous astrophysicist, Neil deGrasse Tyson. So actually, and sometimes I'll go back and I'll read something multiple times. I even kind of like have it regimented to where after I finish it, I'll read it again. Because some lessons in some different books are just, you can continue to read them, and that way you always remember them. But anyway, Neil deGrasse Tyson, there is something called Masterclass. You might have seen the commercials on it. I highly encourage you to get it. It's great. It basically takes world-class individuals that have mastered in the arts or science or cooking or athletes, you name it, and they give wisdom on maybe they will actually teach you how to do something, or give wisdom on something that helps them become as successful as they are. And excuse me. You know how sometimes people might say you're only as good as those that you accompany around yourself? In other words, saying if you have shitty friends, more likely you're going to be a shitbag. You got a lot of smart friends, it's going to rub off on you. More than likely you're going to start to be a smarter guy, girl, whatever the case. It's no different than books. You surround yourself with books that strategically make you the way you want to be, and you will be that way. I guarantee you, I promise you this, you will be that way. And for me, I'm all about strategy, being better, being wiser, being smarter, and being the most of myself. But again, it all comes down to that schedule. My schedule in a lot of ways is kind of like a guiding compass, because it shows me, and I even have like a kind of like a stopwatch thing, alarm on my phone. So if I start to do something for too long, I stop it to make sure that I start something else. Could say it's crazy, could say it's genius, could say it's regimented, but whatever it is, it works, and it works for me. Everything that I've ever tried, and this sounds very, very arrogant, okay, but it's not. I'm just trying to let you know something. Part of my secret to my success, and I'm early at my success, and I'm going to continue to be successful, again, not in an arrogant way, is because I properly plan, I execute my plan, and I revisit my plan. I'm always revisiting my plan, okay, to find out if what I'm doing is the right or best thing, if there's a more efficient way of doing things. Now, going back for a minute on that masterclass thing, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he gave a great strategic class on scientific thinking, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And it basically told you ways on how to be more efficient, and that to me is just the end all. It's the best, you know. So if you're looking for a way to get smarter, I think it's like $100, but it's for like, even if it was $200, it's for like a whole year. They are constantly upgrading people, not upgrading people, they're constantly adding people, and they have like a whole library collection of everybody. You just go to masterclass.com. This is not an advertisement. And you check it out. I guarantee you'll like it. But if you start your plans by writing it down, you literally took something from inside that was within you, from your imagination, and you began the first steps of bringing an idea into reality, into a physical dimension, from the non-existent to the existent, just by putting something on paper. What are you going to do once you have it on paper? You're going to build on it. But then you need a schedule. You have to look at different dimensions in your life, and probably 4 dimensions. And that 4th dimension, not being too scientific, but it is truth, in science, the 4th dimension is time. So if you think not on a 3-dimensional platform, okay, if it was a project, it would be tools that you would need or something like that. But in the 4th dimension is time. You need to schedule your time to make sure that your accomplishments and your goals and everything you're working on, okay, happens. And if you write it down, you'll make it happen. I had a professor tell me one time that if you write something down, you don't need to memorize it. That's true. You could always memorize it, but it doesn't change the fact that paper is kind of doing the work for you. Okay? Paper is kind of like instant memory, you know? And that's what's so fascinating and great about taking somebody's wisdom, and they put it down on paper, and they're making a memory of it, and you can make a memory of it too, by gaining the wisdom that they taught, by learning how to cook, or to shoot, or to hunt, or to fish, or to do anything that you want. So sometimes I say things a little bit more in depth, a little deeper. Sometimes they're a little bit more common maintenance, you know, not much is going on. But this was really important to me, and I noticed myself, I don't want to say backsliding, but I noticed myself sort of slipping it as far as not being fully attentive to what I could be. But it all came down to that compass. It all came down to that schedule. And now I'm back on schedule. I was only off for like a couple days, but it's that schedule that catches me, that saves me. So now I'm going back to doing what I'm always doing, without interruption, and I'm driving forward with a mission. Guys, if I said anything at all today that was helpful to you, I'm glad. I don't need anything from you. what it comes down to. This whole channel is so that you, the listener, can get to know me better as a stand-up comedian. And I am a stand-up comedian, but I'm also many other things. I'm a warrior. Literally. Not in like some facetious way. I'm an Army veteran. Jiu-jitsu practitioner. Okay? I, as you, I'm sure, are many different things. But the more you get to know me, when you see me on stage, you would have had another experience with me in this format that you didn't have with me when I was on stage. So you get to know me more, and I'm always looking forward to getting to know people. I always have people reaching out to me on Facebook and Instagram and everything. So if you ever want to reach out and just say like, hey, that was, you know, shitty or insightful or whatever you want, feel free to always reach out to me. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, comments, whatever. Okay. Benja, it's just short for Benjamin. The little at symbol, you know, at Benja, Benja, and then Welldone, Welldone, all together, like, hey, good job. Funny thing is, Welldone is actually how my last name is pronounced, but it's written different. So I purposely spell it differently to make it easier for people to not just like understand, like, hey, well done job. It's like kind of catchy, you know? Yeah, it's easy to remember too. So anyway, without further ado, I love you guys. I'm looking forward to really starting to open up and do a lot more shows now that this pandemic thing is maybe coming to a close. But until then, I'll keep doing my thing. I'll keep doing shows, and I'll keep doing this channel. Because that's what it's about. It's about getting to know me and me getting to know you by reaching out. So reach out to me. I'd like to hear from some of the people. I don't need anything. I'm just another one of you, another one of the guys or whatever. You know, there's something really pretentious that happens when somebody builds a fan base or gets famous or whatever. And I'm not calling that about myself. This is a true just statement, but I'm saying it. The Rock, for example, has like some 400 million people, but he follows like 12. His numbers aren't right, but I'm giving a point. I think it's kind of pretentious to ask somebody to follow you as though you're better than them, or if they request to follow you, and you don't follow them back. It's kind of a weird thing. If somebody was I don't really like using the term fan, but if somebody did like what I had to say and they wanted to follow me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, I would follow them back. And I've had a lot of weird moments where I've met somebody that, and you could say, you know what, maybe they don't want to see your posts. Maybe. Okay. But if you don't want to see my posts, okay, that's one thing. But there's still a level of being pretentious, which kind of makes it, you know what I mean? It's like a scale, kind of like I'm better than you are. And I don't really like that. So anybody that ever adds me, I always add them right back. Because I think it'd be great to congratulate one of these people that like what I have to say, on stage or off, you know, and congratulate them with graduating college, with getting their doctorate degree, or you know, they just won football, or you know, whatever the case may be. So anyway, hit me up. It's always great to be connected. I hope you all like this, and maybe this was a lesson for you, but again, I'm taking account and notice for me. So it was definitely a lesson for me, and hopefully, just maybe it was for you too. Without further ado, I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.